and this is 1 hour to stop winging it on social media. To step one, performing a quick profile audit. This video comes with a free downloadable guide. So if you haven't done so, click the link below and you'll be able to get the guide so we could do this together. So first things first, we have to start with a profile audit. What is an audit? You check to see if your profile is telling people what you do. When people come onto your profile, can they understand who you are and what they can do for them? And that all starts with your bio. Your bio is, it's the top thing that people see. It's the first thing they read when they come to your profile. So we want to make sure that our bio says who we are, what we do, and how you're able to help them. So for example, if you're a therapist, an example would be like licensed therapist helping high-powered women handle their anxiety. Book a free consult that tells you who you help, what you do, and how they're able to connect with you. Simple as that. So let's go on to my profile. Also for this, you could do your Instagram as well as your Facebook or any profile. There's some stuff with TikTok where you have only a limited space. So let's just stick with Instagram and Facebook. So I'm going to go to my Instagram, which is Socially by Jessie D, if you haven't followed me already. And as you can see here, we are on my page. You have like my suggested here, but we go to the top, Socially by Jessie D. That's my business. It says, my name, and social media strategy and content. Also having that part at the top that tells people, kind of lets Instagram know who to direct your content to. So that's why I have that up there. So let's look at my bio. I say I have been a social media specialist for 12 plus years. It's kind of bordering on 14 now, 13, 14 years. So I have to change that. That's one thing I have to change. Providing hands-on social media assistance to medical, health, and wellness brands. So that's exactly who I help. That's right out there, right away. And I say click to get started, which leads people to a form to see if I'm able to assist them. So as it says, who I am, social media specialist, who I help, medical, health, and wellness brands, and how people get started. So take some time to see if your profile does that. If it does it, let's go back to our checklist. I'm going to go onto our checklist here. And for me, I have my pen. You'll be able to see this on the screen here, but I want to show you too. I have check one. My bio states what I do and who I help. So I'm just going to check it because it does. As you're looking at your bio, ask yourself, if someone came to your page right now, would they understand who you are, what you do, and how you're able to help them? If the answer is no, then obviously you can't check off that first list. But don't worry, there's time to go back and change it. If it's yes, go ahead, check that check mark. Let's move on to our profile picture. All right, let's talk about our profile picture. So sometimes we don't really think about it because you're like, oh, it's so tiny. Let me just put a picture on there and people will know that's my profile picture. Your face or your logo is what people are going to see when they come on the profile. It's a representation of you. Also, you might be thinking, should I put my business logo or should I put a picture of myself? I would say that if you are a practice or your social media account represents your practice, and of course put your practice logo. If you're representing yourself as the practitioner on your social media account, of course put a picture of your face because that's who people are going to interact with. They're going to come to your office and they're going to expect to see you. So of course having a professional headshot as your profile picture is the best. Also, if you have an old profile picture, if it's something from 10 years ago or when you first graduated or, something you're casually on the beach, probably not the best picture. So let's go and look at our profile to see if we're doing that. For me, I have a picture of myself with a pink background for my brand logos. I just want to do that a little bit different. And it's pretty current. So I might change it. And of course, because I'm in a social media space, it's a little bit more casual because I am a casual person. It represents who I am. Of course, as a professional and based on the vibe that you're trying to give when people come to your office, you could choose a picture, but just make sure it's clear and people can see who you are or clearly see your logo. So if your profile photo is profile photo or logo is clear, go on to your checklist, and we're going to do a quick check on my profile photo logo is current and clear. All right, moving on to the next step, our last 9 posts, or what many people call your shop window. It's the posts that most represent who you are and the what you'll provide to your potential patients. So sometimes if we look at our bio and we say that we are a professional helping patients with gut health, but our profile talks about motivational quotes or like having a fun time with our family, it kind of has a little bit of a disconnect. And people, especially in this day and age, people are deciding within a quick second if they want to work with you or go to you. So if there's a little bit of a disconnect to see if you're the right nutritionist for them, then these types of posts won't help. At my page, and again, we're doing this as a real, we're being open and honest, because again, although I'm not perfect, and I want to make sure that I'm sharing with you guys honest content. All right, let's look at my page here. So let's look at the first 9 posts that I have. The first one is a pin post. We could talk about that in another time, but it's a pin post talking about what I will do for you. So it tells people right away, I'm a social media specialist. Here's what I do as a social media specialist. My next post is a post about, it's a political post, which again is that something that maybe someone in the health and wellness industry might want to post? No, not really. So although it is related to social media, that's probably not something I want directly on my page because of the type of clientele I'm trying to reach. The next post is how to position yourself as an online expert online. That applies. It's very broad, but it also applies to health and wellness people. And then going through, I don't want to go through each post, but again, you notice there are some posts that help, that are directly directed at what I do as a person, and there's some posts that maybe aren't great. So I am going to put on my checklist here, my content is aligned with my offers. I'm going to put a little dash because some are yes and some are no. And also keep in mind that your content doesn't have to be salesy. You don't have to be like, yeah, come to me because I'm the best nutrition. Like, no, it doesn't have to be like that. But there should be some kind of connect between some kind of connect with what you do and who you're trying to serve. So just make sure your content does that. The next check in our checklist, my grid feed feels cohesive visually and tonally. It does. For me, I have content that has to do with social media. I'm a social media specialist. I want to help people. My branding is on point. There you go. So I'm going to put a check here. Let's talk about our captions. Captions are so important, and especially in this day of AI, it's very easy to plug some stuff into ChatGPT or Claude and expect something out to be spit out and just post that. But we want to make sure that our caption provides some kind of value to our target audience. Along with your content, you want to make sure your caption teaches something, gives a message, tells a story, and also has some kind of call to action. And also, it doesn't have to be like, okay, book now, book now. No, we don't want to be, again, super salesy in creating our content. But it could be something as simple as share this with a friend that needs to hear this message today. Save this for future reference. It's something that gives someone something to do after they read your caption. Let's look at my post here on how to position yourself as an expert online. I looking at the caption. You don't need more content, you just need the right positioning. This is what separates people who post from people who get paid. True. Read this before, call to action. Read this before your next post. Save it, apply it, watch the shift. There's a clear call to action. That post is good. So I'm going to go over to my checklist and put a check because it does that. So take a look at your last 5 captions. Do you have a clear call to action? Is it just one sentence with a lot of hashtags? If not, then you know where you stand and you know how to correct it. All right, let's go on to the next item, which is keywords. Most of the time, people are using social media as a search engine. It's almost like a mini Google. So sometimes patients will be looking for a nutritionist that deals with vegan patients or vegan clients. Or maybe someone's looking for an OBGYN that deals with high risk pregnancies. If you fit into any category, your bio as well as the content you produce should have these keywords so that when these potential clients and patients look up these words, your profile shows up. So again, if you are in any of those categories, or who you focus on and what you do should be listed in your bio, as well as the caption that you create in your content, as well as your on-screen text. But that's a whole nother thing. And seriously, this is like one little change that you could make to make sure that you are showing up in front of the people that you need to show up in front of. Alrighty, so let's go back to our playlist. So our checklist. And we have here through, and also go through, of course you could pause this, I'll be here when you get back, and just make sure you have all this stuff. So, and also there's a couple other things like posting in the last 10 days. I know that sometimes we haven't met there, but just check and see what you have. For me, so I clicked all this other stuff. I have posted in the last 10 days. I am using relevant keywords. I'm responding to DMs. Sometimes I'm not, so I'm going to circle that because I do respond to DMs, but sometimes it's a lot of spam, or it's sometimes like a friend sending me something through my page, so it's not really client related. And I feel proud of what people see when they visit my page. I really do. Just go through your own checklist and see how you feel. All right, as you can see at the bottom of our page here, we have a reflection space. It asks you, what do you feel good about right now, as well as what is something you'd like to improve this month. So why don't you take some time and write down some things, and actually write them down. I know it's so easy to sit here and be like, okay, yeah, she's talking, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But let's write it down, because this makes it less passive and more active, especially if you want to do better on social media. So let's do that. I will write down all my stuff here too. All right, so what did you write? As you can see here, I feel good about my consistency. I like the way my page looks, so on and so forth. And then something I'd like to improve, I would like to create more content for people like you. A lot of my content is very general, and it can be applied for health, wellness, and medical brands, but I definitely do need to make more content for you guys so you can do your own thing. Right, so we made it at the end of this video. We did something that a lot of people don't like to do, and is look at their profile with honest eyes. Even for myself, as a social media professional, sometimes I'm so focused on all my client stuff that I don't take time for my own stuff, and I'm glad I was able to do that with you guys today. And sometimes if you looked at your checklist and a lot isn't checked off, you might be thinking, oh my gosh, I'm terrible. But no, you're not. It's just an opportunity for you to take a step back and look at the opportunities that you have to improve your profile. And I think that's really exciting. So for the next video, we're going to refocus those goals. I know that sometimes with social media, just like, oh yeah, let me just post something and hope something sticks. No, we want to make sure that we are posting things that provide our potential patients and clients value. So let's talk about those goals in our next video. In addition, if you want a little bit more specialized help, check out the link below about booking a 20-minute consultation with me, where I could go through your profile together and we can have a small audit and see if I can give you a little bit more specialized help. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you in video 2.